My name is Ruben Morato and I'm running Enterprise Analytics at SAP. The digital transformation all companies are in requires a different thinking on how to steer a business and how to run the business. Insights into the data, real-time information and speed matters more than ever in decision making. SAP with S/4HANA and the Digital Boardroom is at the heart of the transformation of many customers into the digital world. Today, we want to show you how SAP internally is driving its business, steering the business in real time, because we believe this is the strongest testimony for our solutions, showing you how SAP runs SAP. We are now in the supervisory boardroom of SAP, the heart of the company where strategic decisions are being made and our board comes together. I'm glad to now have Luka, our group CFO, with us, who can share with you how we run the company in real time using the Digital Boardroom.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, Ruben. For me, being a CFO, obviously data and numbers are truly my lifeblood. Let me show you how this works. I have here a very easy-to-use dashboard, which gives me and all of my colleagues at the executive board a very quick view of the different market units and how they are doing from a plan perspective. So for example, I can look here at SAP Germany and the budget that they have in terms of new cloud bookings. I could do the same for the US, which obviously has a much higher cloud bookings target. What you see as well is that in the Digital Boardroom, all of the numbers automatically update as I go into a different area and into a different market unit. More importantly, I can now go into the actual forecast and into the pipeline performance. And this is something that is also very easily done. When I now take a look at my dashboard again, I see actually the entire pipeline of SAP broken down into the different regions with the corresponding growth assumptions that we have for the different businesses there. And I can, from this dashboard, again, go down into every level of detail that I want to reach. For example, I can go here and then I get immediately access to the different sub-regions within Europe, which is EMEA and Middle and Eastern Europe, with their corresponding values and their forecast. With our pipeline health tracker, we have access again to a lot of historic comparisons that show us, for example, in terms of our linearity, how we are doing in Q1 of 2017 versus, for example, the last Q1 of 2016. All of this information, very importantly, is real time. So let me go one step further, because what can you do with such a powerful reporting? You get actually a very accurate view how all of our market units are doing. In order to produce such a rich set of capabilities that I now have in an online real-time reporting, in the previous offline formats, let's say in a PowerPoint reporting, it would be an extremely cumbersome and complex document of probably hundreds of slides that I can now condense into a system that I can really interact with. This is a true power of the Digital Boardroom.
Thanks, Luka. So it's great to see how our CFO looks into the performance of the region. But I think it's also important to understand more about the performance of a region when you look at it from a capacity perspective. How many people do we have on the ground? So look at it from an HR perspective. So I'm glad that I have our board member for HR with us, Stefan Ries, who can now share with you how he uses the boardroom to look at the company from an HR perspective. Stefan.
So let's have a look. First of all, you see here 6 areas where we are mainly focusing on. And let me jump immediately into one which is very important, called Grow Our Talent. What you see here is basically our world map in terms of our organizational setup, but also our regional split as well as our business unit setup. And the real cool thing about the Digital Boardroom is all about that you analyze and look into information which is real time. If you, for example, select a location in this area here now, Walldorf in Germany, you see immediately, first of all, how many people you have at the location. What is the cost of the location? But you also have information more detailed available, like, for example, how many early talents you have on board, how many people you have hired, what is your attrition rate. And as a matter of fact, you can use the Digital Boardroom also to filter in terms of all of the functions and locations and business units. So that's a big asset for us these days in HR, really to analyze the data like our colleagues in finance. Let's have a quick look into how we measure our learning activities. So when we invest in our employees, it is essential also to measure within HR how we invest the money, but what is the return of invest? So if we want to drill down a little bit more into the details of our learning investments, let's have a look how we measure it and how important it is even for me to track the progress. Think about, for example, how many learning courses the organization has done within a given quarter or within a given year. But also very important is how we're going to run our learning activities. So for example, if you look into the learning types, there you see that it is very important these days not just to look into learning opportunities we're going to conduct through live classroom learning activities, but also how we use our virtual setup. Let's use one filter and let's go to the region of EMEA. And then you see in a second that all this information is available as well on a regional drill down. So let me also show to you a little bit the future of HR and how finance and HR data gets connected. What you see here is, for example, an overview of our current HR activities. So how many people do we have brought on board? What are open vacancies? What are positions we have filled? And we compare that at the same time to the financial information in terms of our budget. To stay with that model, you see, for example, red information, which tells you that from a financial perspective, we are clearly over budget. So if you look into a measure which is called a hiring freeze, you see at the same point in time, in real-time information, what's going to happen in terms of our vacancies and to the simulated hiring, and then all of a sudden, from a budget perspective, we are green back again and stay within our budget.
You now saw two of our executive board members on how they use the SAP Digital Boardroom to run their area of responsibility in real time. We are using the Digital Boardroom to run our executive board meetings, but also now to cascade into the organization the steering logic of the company. This is how we at SAP are managing our digital transformation, and we would be happy if we could support you in running your digital transformation journey together with SAP.